How do you win a second chance when you've tried ending your wife with a watery grave? Welcome to the Charlie Kincaid Show. In 1926, William Fox, yes, that Fox, had a German director by the name of F.W. Murnau immigrate to Hollywood so he could deliver Fox a European picture. And Murnau indeed delivered, bringing Fox Studio the first and only Academy Award given for Most Unique and Artistic Picture, an honor equivalent with Best Picture, though retroactively demoted by the Academy for whatever that's worth. The picture was Sunrise, a song of two humans, and still frequently sits near the top on lists for best films of all time, silent or otherwise. Sunrise begins by following a group of vacationers from the city as they descend into the country. Among them, a certain woman from the city has sunk her serpentine teeth into a humble farmer named the Man, sowing the seeds of destruction for his family and his livelihood. The Man is utterly beguiled by the woman from the city, who conspires to have the man drown his wife so they can be together. He'll row her out into the water on the pretense of having an outing where he'll capsize the boat and travel himself to safety with a bundle of bulrushes. The man agrees. The next day, the man and his wife travel into the water, and everything was going as planned, and the man approached his wife. But she pled for her life, and the man had a moment of clarity and was unable to complete the execution. He rowed them back to shore and she ran away, but he followed her into the city, where they end up attending a wedding. The man, so moved by the service, completely repents and pleads his wife for forgiveness. Much has been said about Murnau and German Expressionism, and while less radical than some of Murnau's earlier works, or other famous silent films like The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, Sunrise is replete with many of the hallmarks of that movement: the forced and warped perspective, the unnatural lighting, the highly dramatized character and camera movements, which attempt to create a visual representation of the inner state of the characters. Murnau and his screenwriter Karl Mayr adapted Sunrise from a short story titled An Excursion to Tilsit by Hermann Sudermann, but the film differs from the short story in a number of ways. Famously, Murnau and Mayr eliminated the characters' names, thereby giving them an archetypal and universal quality supporting the first intertitle. This song of the man and his wife is of no place and every place. You might hear it anywhere, at any time. In addition to this, the mistress character was not a vacationer from the city, but rather a farmhand hoping to gain influence by consorting with the man. And the man meets his fate at the end of the short story, his wife later giving birth to a son that grows up to become a minister. The decision was made that the mistress instead be a kind of invader, which lays the groundwork for one of the major themes of the picture, the dual roles of the city. To understand this, let's consider the biblical narrative. The first city was founded by Cain, who named it after his son Enoch. Cain, of course, is the first murderer, and following his descendants, it's seen how his line continues to stray further and further from fellowship with God, the culmination of this principle being Babylon, where man sought in his hubris to build himself up to heaven. God responded by destroying the tower and dispersing mankind and confusing his tongues. But there is another side to the city. In the garden, Adam and Eve were to live in perfect fellowship with God and cultivate the garden into a kind of garden city. When they were cast out after the fall, God continued to provide a way for them to rehabilitate the way that they had damaged their likeness to God. On the level of the extended family of Israel, this culminates in the heavenly city, Jerusalem. Of course, whether it was the Israelites or the Gentiles, man continued to rebel, but one of the common features of the city is the way it amplifies human nature. In a good society, cities are safe havens. They provide a network for people to thrive. Conversely, in a bad society, death lurks behind every corner. Both sides are demonstrated in Sunrise. The morally corrupt vacationers bring destruction to the country, but the city is also a place where man and wife are reconciled. The country similarly has a dual application. The country is often an idyllic setting full of natural beauty, but it's also the place where man is most exposed to the judgment of the elements. The rain is both cleansing and dangerous. After the happy couple has reconciled and rows back home to renew their life, they're caught in a tremendous tempest. Ironically, the man uses the same bulrushes he had hidden for his own getaway and ties them to his wife to ensure her safety. As the rain and the wind rush down, the boat capsizes and the couple is separated. The man is carried to shore and quickly assembles a search group to retrieve his wife. Finally, she's found, and the film ends with the wife coming to, bathed in the light of sunrise, anticipating a new beginning. If you've never watched a silent film, I couldn't recommend a better introduction than Sunrise. Silent film acting is often seen as heavy-handed and overly theatric, but there is real nuance to the performances here, and the story is masterfully told through its visuals that hardly any intertitles are necessary. The film premiered in 1927, the same year as the first talking movie, The Jazz Singer. The film industry would change forever, but only rarely reach the heights that were met with Sunrise. Thank you for watching. Please let me know your thoughts on Sunrise in the comments. I really would like to hear them. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.